Hey Harmonizers, it is time for a whimsy update. This is the Mustang that I did not need. I did not need another Mustang, but she was gorgeous and beautiful and she got abandoned by somebody else. So I thought, you know what? I will get her and try to help her out. So this is an update of where we're at, and you're going to get to see by the end that I actually get to put some cream on her wounds, which is so exciting because one of the hardest things when you are getting a new Mustang is you can see that they need your help, that they've got wounds or they've got all these dreadlocks in their mane, all of these things where you would love to give them some medical attention or help them out a little bit more, but they don't trust you yet, so you can't do that. So I'm going to show you some of the really key steps of how I helped her get to this point so that way she would let me help her. So first up, I'm using a stick, but I don't use sticks to whip horses around or to go after them. I use them to start touching them. So here's a great example. I'm touching her on her legs and she gets really scared and kind of skittishes out of the way. But notice I do not hit her. I do not tell her she's an awful pony. I just kind of go, okay, like, yeah, I understand. You got upset, like that's scary. And you can see she's kicking out. And that's just because she's a flight animal and she's a prey animal and she's worried that I might be trying to eat her. I could be a lion. Who knows? Like maybe lions wear, turquoise, like what I'm doing here, and I'm going after her. She doesn't know that yet. So I have to show her that I'm not actually a lion and I'm not going to eat you and it's okay. So when she does those kick motions, I don't get mad and hit her, because although some people would feel like you need to punish the horse for doing something like that, you're just going to cause them to get more emotional. So watch how I just gently stroke her, reassure her that I wasn't trying to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. And I use a stick because the stick is like my arm, and it's a flexible stick. And so the idea is that it gives me the confidence to keep rubbing her, because the last thing I want is to go and touch her with my hand and have my head close to that and accidentally get kicked because she's startled and frightened, or, she's got these reactions that she needs to overcome, and she needs to realize that I'm actually a safe space and she doesn't need to do any of that. But if she were to hurt me in the process, or learn that if she starts getting kicky like that, she scares me and I back away, then she might learn, if I get kicky, then I'm going to intimidate the human and they're going to go away, and then I will not be eaten by those human lions. And we don't want that. So by using the stick, it gives me a little bit of distance. So it's also not as overwhelming for her, because I'm not right by her, ready to eat her. It's a little bit of distance, so she gets that little bit of space. And then I'm just touching so softly and gently. There's absolutely no whipping or smacking or anything like that. And then here you can see another little clip of me just hanging out while she's eating her grass. So choosing to be near her because I'm trying to build up that confidence of being in front of her. She's been comfortable with me at the side of her, and as long as she feels like she can flight or run away, then she's pretty calm. But here I'm getting in front and starting to show her like, hey, I can be up here and it's okay. Like, you get your grass, I'm not going to get in the way, and you're going to be okay. And so she's starting to understand, okay, this human, she's a little scary sometimes, but it's okay. And then I have lots of these little breaks where I go away and I let her think about things, and then I come back, because just like humans, some horses need more time to think and process what just happened. And then I go back with another handful of grass and we try it again. So here you get to see a little bit of progress being made where I've walked away, given her time to think about things, and then I reapproach with that stick again, and I'm coming up near the front of her because I'm trying to build up that confidence that I can get to a place where I can start to brush out all of those tangles in her mane. And she's also got some wounds on her face that I'm going to show you later in the video that I want to put cream on, because I want to treat her for the wounds and the sores that she has. I want to take care of her. But I have to build that trust first. And there's lots of different ways that people train horses or train animals. And some people do the, force and intimidate and put a rope around them. And they go through a lot of fight and anxiety to get there. Whereas I prefer to do an approach like this, where it's a little bit slower because I'm going at her pace, and yet not super slow, because I am being a little bit persistent. I'm encouraging her. I've got my stick there to help reach and touch and gently, because I want to get to a place where I can start to care for her a little bit more. but at the same time, I'm really trying to show her that it's going to be okay. So this next clip, not the greatest video angle, but I want to show you where I actually started touching her neck. This is so exciting. So I'm coming up and I've got my grass and I'm approaching her and I'm getting to that point where I can approach her and she's not feeling the need to completely run away. And I go slowly and carefully, and I apologize, not the best angle, but I'm getting in there at the side, and then you can see I'm reaching out and I'm doing little touches with my hand, just little gentle strokes. And you can see she has that little shift in her body. Did you see that tiny little shift back on her legs? That's her kind of going, ooh, I'm thinking about running away, but I didn't. So that's her being a little bit worried. And so I go in and I just do little gentle touches because I want to build up these small, short instances of I touch, I don't eat you, and then I give you your space. But you can see that little rock back that she does in her body, that's her telling me, I'm ready to leave. I am ready to leave. If you were to push the issue, I am ready to leave. And then you can see she starts to get softer in her body and she didn't actually rock back and get ready to leave there on that last touch. She did a much better job. And so that's her starting to get a little bit more relaxed. And then you can see I'm giving her the grass. And although she kind of snatched the grass there, that's her just kind of showing me a little bit of anxiety, like, okay, I want the grass, but I'm a little bit anxious about what you're doing. So for me, I'm not going to progress beyond that and kind of say, okay, like that's great for touches. And so then here's building up to another session, just showing you a little bit more of that progress. So this is me coming out at the start of a session. So you're getting to see right at the very beginning, I'm getting my grass ready. I'm fixing, I saw the hay feeder had one of the little, I don't even know what to call it, the little post, I guess, thing out. So I was just fixing that there. And then I grab my whip. It's really a flexible whip. It's a lunge whip, but I'm not using it as a whip. I'm using it as a stick. And so I grab that and I go over and start stroking her. And you can see she's already progressed a lot in her training and her trust in me because she doesn't initially run away. And look, I'm getting right to touching her legs. I'm reaching to touch one leg, the other leg, rubbing her on her back. Moving around, you can see now I'm touching the front legs, reaching around underneath and touching the other side. So she's come a long way in understanding, okay, this human, maybe not a lion, I'm going to take my grass and it's okay. She's not hurting me. So we're building up that trust slowly but surely. So this is a little later in the session. And so you're going to see that I just reach out and I just touch. And so I'm reaching because I'm trying to keep my body a little bit further away from her to help give her that peace. And then I'm going forward, giving her that grass. You can see sometimes she still takes those few little steps away. So that can be her, just saying like, this is a little stressful still. So then a super exciting thing happened and I made some progress. This is a different session now. And I got to brush her mane, but I didn't have my phone set up to record. So you can see this beautiful mane, but you can also see these wounds on her face. And I thought, you know what? She did such a great job with letting me brush the tangles out of her mane, getting her more comfortable there. I'm going to try and put some cream on these wounds. And it's during this session as well, I decided to land on the name Whimsy because Whimsy is kind of this fun, friendly name. And I was kind of thinking Whimsy and a few other names, so it was kind of still up in the air a little bit at this point, but Whimsy is kind of where we're landing on. And I did remember to set up my phone. I thought, okay, I didn't film myself brushing her mane, but I'm going to film myself attempting to put cream on this cheek. And touching the cheek would be the closest that I've gotten to touching her face. And I find Mustangs are all a little bit different. Some Mustangs start with wanting to investigate you with their nose, and they're okay with you touching their face, and that's where they start. And then other Mustangs start with wanting to be rubbed around their wither area, or for her, it was more kind of around that hip area. So the horses are all a little bit different, and based on how they move away from me, how they shift away from me, I let them tell me where they want me to start with the stroking first. So there you can see I started with petting her mane first, and then I'm trying to go in and touch that cheek to put the cream on her cheek. And I wanted to have it be pretty comfortable, so I'm trying to, stroke the back of her, or the side of her mane with the back of my hand first, not trying to get cream all in her mane, but I really want to put some zinc on those wounds because they do look a little bit open. The zinc is going to stop flies from getting in there. It's going to help prevent infection and just make sure that she heals properly, because I really want to make sure we're taking care of her. So I'm taking my time. You can see I'm not rushing anything. It's a slow process. And look at me, stick my finger, get a little bit of zinc ointment on there. And she kind of looks at me and she looks at the zinc and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's okay." And you can tell she's understanding, okay, like this is weird, this is different, but it's not hurting. And so she still stands there for me to put a little bit more on, which is pretty exciting because I'm finally starting to get to take care of her. And there's definitely, like, in that first little bit, there's a little bit of pressure to want to hurry up and get them trusting you and gentling, because you see, the feet need to be trimmed. You see the wounds that need the ointment. You see the dreadlocks, and you want to treat, like I saw that she had rain rot and I wanted to be able to put oil on her rain rot and just help her out a whole bunch. And the sooner you get them gentled, the sooner that you can start giving them all of this care and really helping them be their best self. And for them, it's also not just a physical thing, it's the mental piece as well, because as I'm doing these things for her, she's getting the physical benefit of getting the health treatment, but she's also getting the mental benefit of realizing, okay, she might be wearing a pink shirt, but she's not a lion, she's not a bear, she's not an alligator, she's not trying to eat me, still a little skeptical of me, but she's starting to realize that I'm actually a friendly person. And that's going to just help settle her anxiety all around and get her to a place where emotionally she's in a much happier place and can start really thriving and being her best self. So here you can see I'm coming in now, just stroking that mane again, making sure that she's comfortable, giving her grass as a little thank you as I go to walk away again. So you get to see a really big transformation. This was like such an amazing moment for me. I love taking on Mustangs and helping them trust people, because I really like getting to this place of hitting these big epiphanies of, oh, this human's okay. And so it's a really great feeling to get to this place. And I'm so excited to see where she goes in her training and to see what happens next. Now, this footage was all filmed back in the summertime, so you're gonna have to stay tuned. It took me a while to put this video together, so I apologize for that. But here you can see the cream on her face. She's doing really, really well. And I look forward to sharing with you guys the next update, because you won't believe what happens next. Thanks for watching.
Remember to subscribe and check out harmonyhorsemanship.com for even more learning.